arrived.
We here, baby. What's up, man? Hotep Con 2022. Second annual is up.
Who's going to court? Hotep. Where's she at? Did you tell her to come to passenger pickup?
It's lit.
Kim, it's Hotep Jesus. We'll be back. Yeah, we're just talking about that camping. Got the balloons.
No, we really flew clear. We flew Spirit Airline. Who flies Spirit Airline? On purpose. Who does that? You never catch me.
I've seen it. I was like,
Yo, I ain't never flying Frontier again. Jump seats. Every scene was
Did I tell you about that?
Every scene was a jump seat. It hurt.
Frontier's like
Wow.
it's just a glorified spirit.
Didn't I just tell y'all they be having them jump seats, yo? That's what they call jump seats.
The entire plane jump seat.
Yes.
Nothing but blues play. You got nothing but
You?
Everybody's from Montreal. We used to play that. That was a classic. Man.
That was a classic?
Yeah. That's a very that was a classic.
Was it?
That shit came out.
NIE.
Yeah.
No, because it was the one. Something there was one that was Super Thug.
Yeah, Super Thug.
Yeah, the one with
It had the one, yeah, the one with Puddle. That was a classic.
That was
That was a good
song
album.
in the
That
album.
was a good album. Orange, yeah, orange.
Orange was the orange drink.
Orange drink.
I hear it's orange drink. I can't read that.
We doing bad out here, people.
The hot, yeah.
We doing
Hot
bad out
spicy or
here.
the hot?
No, the spicy.
They gonna go on the internet, they gonna say these niggas is some
No,
fake
not
hoteps.
the hot, yeah, the
They not following
yeah.
Dr. Sebi
The
diet.
orange drink.
This nigga just ordered a
I
chicken
see
sandwich.
Yeah,
Cannon just
4 beef
opened,
spicy
just
chicken.
ordered a Big Mac.
You know, this nigga just ordered sawdust with salt on it.
Hey yo, Brody, turn mine into another one.
And then
No pickles on my Big Mac.
Pause.
you seen the show Hotep's Been Told You? All right, look it up right now on your phone while I'm waiting for my food. Hotep Jesus right there. So tell all the crew. You just waited on. You guys can use these for Hotep Been Told You, or we could do this high top like we did.
Oh baby, it's so lit. It's so lit. You got our wonderful Lady Hoteps here. Trish. This is just such a wonderful guy.
Exactly.
Shit looking professional. This is Cisco and sponsor.
Nice.
Yeah. He brought the advantage over. So I'm gonna. Welcome. Got two of my walls here with me. I'm in heaven right now.
Max.
Move that table over to the left a little bit.
Okay.
This is You see him finesse a little white girl out of a fresh cup of coffee and Hotep Jesus. And y'all know him, y'all love him. The Paul Purveyor himself. Uncle Hotep, get your ass out here.
Thank you, Ken. Everybody, clap for Ken Hotep.
Y'all know the deal. We go in for real and ain't got no chill. Teach me how to grip. 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 Hotep and build. Y'all know the deal. We go in for real and ain't got no chill. Teach me how to grip. 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 Save the day if you not.
Good afternoon, grifters, and welcome to the Grift Report.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
That Hotep Jesus dude.
What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? Let's fix that. Again, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the camera, but we're back with another episode of the Grift Report. Welcome all. The footage that you saw prior to is from Hotep Con. Hopefully you're joining us for our annual event, Hotep Con. Come hang out with us. Really good time, as you can see. Very family-friendly environment. Tickets are now available at hotepnation.com/HotepCon. Just go to hotepnation.com and navigate your way to Hotep Con and use coupon code HotepJesus for 10% off. Crypto markets are in a plunge right now. Thank God.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I thought I didn't accumulate enough in the last bear run, so hopefully we have a nice bear run. We can accumulate some assets. And with that being said, shout out to the Syscoin team. Wonderful project over there. Shout out to Patrick, Alex, and Jag, and Nathan. Wonderful team. Had really good time with those guys at the Rolux rollout party in Austin, Texas a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely fun time. With that being said, let's hop right into the Grift Report. We got a lot to cover today. But first, we got to start with a potential grifter of the year. Let's pull this up on your screen. Gonna play this clip right here. Can you see that? Okay, let me adjust that. Okay, that should be fine for your screen. And we're gonna watch this. Hold on a second. Let me find it. Oh, here we are, right here. Hold on.
Jackie D. First, I would like to thank you for your cooperation and for the role you played in rescuing Mayor Steinberg's daughter.
Yeah? Well, that shit wasn't easy either.
But, with that being said, unfortunately your request for your charges to be dropped, that's not something that the police department's able to do. It's going to have to be up to the court to decide on that.
I figured you'll say some shit like that. Which is why, this time, I found an attorney. Yeah.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Oh, don't worry. We were just getting warmed up, weren't we?
Now, where were we?
Well, I was just explaining to Jackie D here that while we appreciate his cooperation, unfortunately we're going to have to leave it up to the court to decide what happens to him.
Of course. I see that around your department is trying to go here and I will rethink handling that situation in that particular fashion because, well, frankly, it's bad for the narrative.
Bad for the narrative?
A black man from the streets helped save a high-profile white girl from a hostage situation, and instead of being awarded the Medal of Merit for his courageous efforts, he's being thrown back into jail. Now that's bad for the narrative.
Jackie D is a criminal. He assisted the police department because he had no choice.
Well, that's not what the liberal media is gonna say. They're gonna say he's a hero, and you're a white cop conditioned by a racist system to hate black people. I mean, we all know how y'all get down. Yeah. This would not be the first time you committed a crime against the black community. And as far as the reputation of your department's concerned, well,
that's bad for the narrative.
That's bad for the narrative. People might protest. They might hold you personally accountable. How long have you been detective?
This is my first 6 months, actually.
Well, you can kiss your career goodbye.
And you can kiss your reputation goodbye.
You're a racist cop now.
And that's
bad for the narrative.
It's a bad narrative all around. You dig?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
Nerd Nash said, Hotep Washington. Yo, you see me trying to get my acting on? I'm trying to get my acting on, man. I'm trying. Hollywood, holla at me, man. I could do anything, man. Huh? I could do anything. Call me up. 50. Give me a role in Power. I could do this. That's Adventures of Save-A-Ho, episode 4. I'm in that with Rollo Tomasi, Lucario, Donovan Sharp, Jesse Lee Peterson. I mean, an absolute all-star cast. Shout out to Kevin Savo and the Savo brothers, Rocky and all of them. Really good production team there. So make sure I go check that out. Of course, I had to start it off with a little bit of grifting. Let's go back in the grift bag. Let's see what else we got in here. Hold on. Reach my hand into the grift bag. So much has happened. Let's go here. Let's pull this up on the screen. Let's go here. Hold on. Okay. So here we have, let's lock that. Jeff Charles. Jeff Charles says, my mom was cleaning out stuff in her garage and found some of my old schoolwork. This is a project I did in social studies in 8th grade. I was militant even back then. But my question is, why did I draw a little white guy shooting a KKK member? And as you can see here, he has a scrapbook, 1865 to 1877 reconstruction. Oh my. And if you see, you look at this, this is just, I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this. Jesus, Jeff Charles, what was going on in your childhood, man? Shee. Now, imagine if Jeff Charles would have done this today. If he would have created this artwork as a kid today, oh my God. Oh my Lord. Do you know what would have happened? They would have said, oh, we got to talk to the parents, and he would have needed a psych evaluation and, investigation, and, they might have had to give him some pronouns. Ugly out here. Shout out to Jeff Charles. If y'all not following Jeff Charles, make sure y'all follow Jeff Charles. We going back in the grift bag. I'm just showing you the best of the grift. The best of the grift. What do we got to talk about today? So we're going to play a clip here with the mayor of Chicago next. We got to talk about Tim Pool. We got to talk about Tucker. We got some masculinity grift going on in here. We got some Alex Jones to play, some Tucker to play. And, of course, we'll open up phone lines. We got some Biden crime family stuff in here. It's a mixed bag of griff. Let's go to the mayor of Chicago. Let's see what this is about. Let's pull this up. Wait, there's no sound? There's no sound? All right, let me find a clip with sound here. But, the thing I wanted to bring up in regards to this is, they always go to rappers, for, I guess, I don't know, what is it? Clout? Cosign? So I guess the clip hasn't come out yet. I guess what we're looking at here is a preview. It says Lil Durk denied his recent meeting with Chicago's new mayor was album promo. It's saving kids' lives. So, okay, that's why there's no audio here, because this is just a promo. Now he's saying Lil Durk says his meeting with Brandon Johnson had nothing to do with album promo. Here's the problem with entertainment news. You never know what the truth is. There's so many different narratives out here. Hip Hop DX. What does Hip Hop DX have for us? Nothing. So stay tuned. The new mayor of Chicago, speaking of Lil Durk. What does it say here? Let's pull this up on the screen. Basically, what you're saying is they discuss different ways to help save kids' lives around his hometown. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the NASAs right now, but Lil Durk has beef, if we can call it that, with NBA Youngboy. And Soulja Boy has also gotten to the mix. Soulja Boy has dissed both of them. And I think they all have album releases. So, so I guess we're going to see how that helps them in their album promo. But he says it's not an album promo. It's about saving kids' lives. So we'll update you on that at a later date. Let's go back in the griff bag. Hold on. Gotta reach my hand in the griff bag. All right, let's watch this clip here. Going to some masculinity before we get into the hot topics. Look at this.
A 9.
Okay, what is she over there?
I'll give him a 10 because
Okay.
he invited me.
All right, so again, you sound like a stupid ass bitch. I'm trying to
Thank
figure
you.
out why.
Violating. He's violating right now, fellas. I know some of you watch these masculinity shows, these manosphere shows, these fresh and fit knockoffs. But that's not how you talk to women. It's definitely not how you talk to women. I mean, unless you're into illegal activity, such as sex trafficking, aka pimping, or human trafficking. This is the type of language you use, or if you're just immature. Absolutely disrespectful language he used here. I don't think there's anything a woman could ever do verbally that would cause me to call her out her name like this. Just way too calm of a person, way too calculating. And frankly, I try to practice purity of thought, so I wouldn't want to be in a situation like that, but let's continue.
Why you rated me a 2? Because we're not going off our interactions. We're going off beauty.
I don't like light.
I don't give a fuck. He's light skinned just like me, and you just gave him a 9. You gave me a 2. You only gave me a 2 because of the whole interaction that we've been having, right? So do me a favor, get the fuck up and get the fuck out.
Thank you.
Yeah, get out.
A 9.
Okay.
So that's a Myron Gaines knockoff grift right there. Myron Gaines, he's notorious for being Frank Castle and throwing girls out. And this guy is, appears to be a Frank Castle knockoff. And, okay, so the girl says she's not into light-skinned men. And, they do this rating thing. Fresh and Fit has actually done this. I've been on the show before where the girls go around the room and they rate guys. And, I've been in a situation where girls had to rate me. And it turned out to be a great time, right? I got really good ratings. But this guy is upset because she rated another light-skinned guy a 10 and him a 2, but she said she only rated the other guy a 10, well, because he invited her. So she's paying respect to the person who invited her, person who put her on the podcast. And he's upset that she rated him a 2. Now, people have preferences. Some people have skin color preferences. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People have preferences. You're allowed to have preferences. Some people like big girls. Some people like skinny girls. Some people like thick girls. Some people like girls with boobs. Some people like girls with penises. Everybody's allowed to have their preferences. And skin color can be in that. It's part of, what you look like. So she's basically saying, I like dark guys. And there's something to that. For example, and I always said this, darker skin is a thing of beauty. And I can prove this and, show some evidence at least. Whenever you check out one of these high-end gyms, workout facilities, what do they always have? Tanning beds. When you go look at bodybuilding and all of these types of competitions, what do many people do? They put on this, they change their color. They make themselves darker. They tan, right? And why? Well, in these competitions, the tan helps, reveal some of the definition. So darker skin is a thing of beauty. So I can see why she would prefer darker guys. But, I don't see how you can have your panties in a bunch just because a girl rates you low. If a girl says I'm a 2, I'm going to go, hey, look, you have your preferences. And I'd be honest with her. I'd say, look, I still think you're a 10 or I think you're an 8. I think you're a 9. I wouldn't even give a girl a poor rating. I'm the type of person who, if we were sitting around at a table and there was a girl there that in my head, I'm like, yo, she's a freaking 4. I wouldn't tell her she's a 4. I'd be like, hey, can I pass? That's just how I am. It's just, I could never break that type of news to a woman. And I know there's other guys who are like that and guys who are not like that. But I just want to clear the air for my younger bros. This is not how we act in front of women. This is not the example we set. Take it on the chin, take your diss on the chin, and move along. Let's go back in the grift bag. Like I told you, it's a mixed bag of grift today. We got to talk about the Biden crime family. We got to talk about Tim Pool. We got to talk about Tucker. So let's talk about Tim Pool first, and we'll start it off with a clip here from Tim Pool himself. And in this clip, he's talking about why he would vote for Trump over DeSantis. Let's play the clip.
So what do I like about Trump? The reason I'd vote for him, not because I think he's the greatest leader we've ever had. I think his foreign policy has been absolutely fantastic, considering the presidents we've had in the past. Obama, blowing up kids, like Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki, a 16-year-old American citizen we murdered. Anyway, Donald Trump's going to fire everybody. He wants revenge. And I think...
Y'all hear what he just said? You heard what he just said? Tim Pool is not holding back. Wow. Y'all called him a fence sitter?
Lockie, a 16-year-old American citizen we murdered. Anyway, Donald Trump's going to fire every leader we've ever had. I think his foreign policy has been absolutely fantastic, considering the presidents we've had in the past. Obama, blowing up kids, like Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki, a 16-year-old American citizen we murdered. Anyway, Donald Trump's going to fire everybody. He wants revenge. And I think if the one thing I can get out of the next presidency is the purging of the bureaucratic class, this country will be better off for it.
I can see Trump doing some house cleaning, some housekeeping, and mostly because he has experience. When he started his first term, many people warned him about the cabinet he chose, and we saw a lot of people defected and turned their back on Trump in his cabinet. And I think it was a big learning experience for Trump. And being that this is the second time around, it's going to be some shuffling going around. So, I got to agree with Tim there.
I don't know if Ron DeSantis would do that. I think he's a negotiator. I think he's going to go in and say, how can we make this clean? And it's going to be like Trump's first term all over again. They're going to attack him. They're going to.
Exactly. You need a guy with some experience, man. You need a guy who's been there before. Trish said he hired the worst people ever. Yeah. But Tim's on point with that. DeSantis doesn't have that experience, and we could see a repeat of that.
Smear him. They're going to lie. They're going to get their key positioned people to sludge everything up. I think at this point with Donald Trump, he's unleashed. He's so angry. He's been slighted. He's been lied about. They've impeached him. They're trying to criminally prosecute. They're prosecuting him in New York. They're trying to get him in D.C. They're trying to get him in Georgia. Now they're accusing him of a 30-year-old rape case. I mean, these people are relentless. And almost every single time these stories turn out to be fake, or even worse, it's them. I mean, the Alpha Bank Russia stuff was a lie. Trump being a Soviet asset. Jonathan Chait, congratulations. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard on cable TV. All of it a lie. Ukraine Gate, Joe Biden saying if you don't fire the prosecutor, you're not getting $1 billion, which he admitted to at a CFR meeting.
Oh, my God, Tim. Expose it.
Everything they say about Trump turns out to be misconstrued. I think Trump gets elected. He walks in and says, I don't care how. I don't care why. We are going to terminate these people. We're going to send them out with nice little boxes full of their belongings, and we're going to figure out how to do it. He wants Schedule F. That's the number one thing this country needs right now. I don't think DeSantis does it.
Salient points there. Now we spoke, Uncle Hotep and I, we spoke about this on our VIP show, Hotep's Been Told You 2.0. That's on patreon.com/Hotep's Been Told You for our paid VIP subscribers. But we spoke about how Tim Pool is under attack, why he's under attack. I'm not going to rehash that. You guys can go watch that show from Monday. But we're starting to see more and more evidence of this come to the surface. Let's pull these up. Let's pull this up on the screen so you can see it. You can see what I'm talking about here. Let's go to Ashley St. Clair. And she says, anybody who does not click on this article would assume Tim Pool is the Texas shooter. Absolutely disgusting. And BBC here says why some people are spreading false rumors about the Texas gunman. And whose image do they have there? Tim Pool. Really, bro? Really? Now, allegedly, BBC has deleted that tweet and I guess fixed that error. Actually, let's pull that up. Let's see if we can find this article. Why people say, let me see. They may have, this might not even be the title anymore. Here we go. BBC. All right, I found it. Never fear. We got the article right here. Let's close. What is it? Wow. Okay, here it is. Here's the image of Tim Pool. Now, sometimes you don't have control over what images a social media site pulls, but you can set that. You can set that in the back end of your blog. I noticed because we run menoforder.com, right? Shout out to menoforder.com. So you can set that. But sometimes if you don't set that, it'll just pull a random image. Now, I'm not sure what this article looked like. I'm not about to go into the Wayback Machine and do all of that and see what it looked like yesterday. I'm not going to do that. Just don't feel like it, honestly. But really what they're concerned with is the take that he had. That, you know, we had a similar take yesterday. What did we say? We said this whole situation smelled like a psyop. Not saying a false flag, not saying it didn't happen. We're not saying nobody was killed. We're not saying that. We're just saying it just seems the spin on this story is a psyop. It's the spin because a real event can happen and the psyop could wrap that event. And that's what it looks like to me, right? Because there are some discrepancies about the identity of Mauricio Garcia. There's some discrepancies of is he a Nazi white supremacist? They found some obscure Russian social media website with some obscure social media profile of this person. Some of the pictures are him. They're not him. We don't really know. So like I said, this is a whole lot of misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, whatever it may be, that's circulating that then becomes the psyop. So what do they say here? The podcaster Tim Pool, a former Occupy Wall Street supporter and Vice News reporter, was among those mentioned several times in the suspect's posts. So, again, they're saying that this profile allegedly of Mr. Garcia was championing Tim Pool. And I don't know why a Nazi would be watching Tim Pool. Like, Tim Pool is definitely not something that a Nazi is watching. Like, you could have picked a better person than that. And we talk about that on the Monday show, like I said. But it says here, there is no evidence that Garcia was inspired to action by Mr. Pool's podcast, which cover right-wing talking points and conspiracy theories. Now, he does not cover right-wing talking points and conspiracy theories. And this is proof because of his brand perception. Tim Pool's brand perception, according to the people, is he's a fence sitter. I've been accused of being a fence sitter. Somebody called in our show, maybe last week, and called me a fence sitter, and we argued for a bit. And really what you're saying when you're saying somebody's a fence sitter, you're basically saying that they're looking at nuance. They're looking at the details of things, and they can see things from both sides. I happen to be that way. I happen to look at things like that. Now, does Tim Pool host right-wing people? Yes, but he also hosts left-wing people. For example, we played the clip earlier this week, and what was that? That was some dude trying to justify that having intimate relations with a T person is not homo. So these are the people that Tim Pool has a wide range of people on. So this line right here is inaccurate. I'm going to call it inaccurate. We're not going to call it slander. We're just going to call it inaccurate. They says, but Mr. Pool immediately tried to cast doubt on the veracity of the material, accusing those digging up the materials as being part of a psyop. Now, look, those digging up the materials, that's what we're saying, that the people who are wrapping this event are wrapping it in a psyop. It says Mr. Pool did not respond for requests for comment. Now, sometimes media reaches out to me and they ask me for comment, and I go, no, thank you. Because what they'll do is they'll wrap your statement in a psyop. They'll misconstrue what you say. They'll only take parts of what you say. So I'm like, nah, no, thank you. Adding to the misinformation were a photo of a man who shared a name with the suspect, which circulated widely online. Several viral posts have claimed the gunman was part of a Mexican cartel or a drug gang. Police said during Tuesday's press conference that he had no prior criminal record. Just all of these facts just sound crazy. So somebody with no prior criminal record carries out an act like that. I'm not saying it's not possible. It smells a little like trout. Now, where they say these photos circulated widely, right? And we saw people passing that around, who was some Mauricio Garcia in Texas, and some of the right-wing people that I follow were sharing that image. I personally didn't share the image because I never know what's accurate, and I never want to pass around inaccurate information. So people got duped by this, false identity of this person. So you got to be careful. That's the lesson to learn here is, just because you see something online, don't be so quick to share it. Try to get it verified before you share it, because the machine is slick. The man is slick. The man will use that to create a psyop. He'll be like, okay, they have these bot farms, these burner accounts, and I've exposed right-wing burner accounts on this channel before, and they'll use these burner accounts to spread misinformation. And somebody who's following it, thinking this is a reputable account, not knowing they're following one of these bot farms, start sharing it because everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants to get on the grift. Okay. And that's the downside of being first and trying to go viral is sometimes you're going to be wrong, but you're set up to be wrong. So my question is, who was the first person to pull up that image of Mauricio Garcia? I'm not going to do an investigation here because I respect you people's time, but I'd like to know, what was the first instance? Was it Reddit? Was it Poll? 4chan? Was it Twitter? And who was it? Some obscure account that everybody decided to run with. And what they do is, the left, I'm assuming it could be the left here, the left will give the right false information to discredit them and say, aha, look, you can't listen to these people. They're conspiracy theorists. They don't know what they're talking about. And they'll even document how many times you fall for these things, and they'll list them. They'll write an article about you and be like, remember when they said this was Mauricio Garcia? Well, that was this person. And they'll list all the times you've been wrong because they set you up to catalog you and basically discredit you. And that's what we have to be careful of. You can't just share stuff because what they want to do is they want to make you look stupid so they can discredit you. I was talking to Shaka Akmos, and he was, teaching me about character and his philosophy around character. And a lot of what I'm saying from the right wing is, the left, they practice character assassination. The black male, this is what we were talking about with Shaka, was, the character assassination of the black male. And we're seeing that now with the white male, the character assassination of the white male. And a lot of that has to do with the rainbow agenda. Also, the perception of white men being dangerous. They did that psyop with black men. They made us become the symbol of danger. And now they're doing it with white men, saying white men are white supremacists, da, 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 da. You go down and run a gamut on that. So character assassination is part of their ploy, and they do that by spreading false information and propaganda to discredit the right. So I want you folks to be careful, and I want you to talk to your local grifter, your favorite grifter, and say, hey, did you verify this before you shared it? I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to, block you or anything like that. But please tell us, can you be, or advise them, please be more careful and responsible with your feed, and don't just be so grifty. You got to jump at the first opportunity to get a viral tweet. So yeah, we gotta do better, folks. We gotta do better. All right, let's go to Tucker. Then we'll open up the phone lines here. We're getting the phone lines open early today. Well, Tucker and the Biden crime family. So we'll go Tucker first, and then the Biden crime family. Let's play the Tucker clip first. Yeah, let's play the Tucker clip first. Hold on.
It's Tucker Carlson.
Some of you have seen this. If you haven't, you're going to enjoy this.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right.
Now, that's something I've said before. When people say the news lies, and I've explained this exact point that Tucker's about to bring up. So make sure you pay attention to what he says here, because this is very important.
Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective.
And that's the biggest issue, is the withholding of information is what you would call a lie by omission.
You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it.
This guy's a pro at reading these monologues, man. Absolute pro.
That's not a guess. It's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything.
I need Tucker to teach me how to do this.
It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy.
Bars. Although I don't agree with the usage of the term democracy here, but technically he's right.
That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site.
Now, this is very a great observation. You know, when he says here, Twitter is, hold on.
Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, we are now of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops.
Incubates and develops. That's the part I wanted to highlight. See, Tucker gets it. And I've said this before, people have mistakenly said, and we got to talk about Gavin Newsome and reparations, I almost forgot. But people have said Twitter isn't real life. And I've always rebutted that and said, Twitter isn't real life. Twitter creates real life. I was able to tell people in the real world what was coming down the pike because of what I was witnessing on Twitter. Twitter is the place where things incubate and develop. Then it enters life. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of spooky, kind of scary.
Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here.
And everybody's not allowed here. Ye isn't allowed here, and Alex Jones isn't allowed here. We need to fix that ASAP.
I think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others.
All right, so
see you soon.
TuckerCarlson.com. So Tucker Carlson might single-handedly save Elon's platform. I believe he could single-handedly save it. And I'm saying that because Tucker is going to pioneer a new way of media distribution, direct to social media. You know, people are accustomed to coming to YouTube and Rumble. Shout out to my people tuning in on Rumble, Hotep TV on Rumble. But they're used to these platforms for long-form content. You are not used to using social media for long-form content. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Tucker navigates that, how he monetizes it. And I think, you know, Elon's probably only one with pockets big enough to support Tucker. Elon wanted to make this a content creator place. We know he just said, you can, he's not taking any money of your subscriptions, for the next year or something like that, the first year or something. So there are some advantages here. There are some clear advantages of being on this platform. And, I think that, Tucker can single-handedly save the platform. But it's going to be interesting to see, how do you navigate the platform? I remember at one point you used to be able to minimize a piece of content and still scroll your feed. Like, I want to be able to watch the show and scroll my feed at the same time and then open it up big. If I can't do both, then, it kind of defeats the purpose, because some people want to scroll and listen at the same time. If I'm, trying to put something in the grift bag, I want to be able to, scour the Twitters for the grift bag and listen to Tucker's show. Some things to look for is, what is the content length? How long are his videos? That's going to be interesting to see. What does he talk about? But like I said, Rumble, Daily Wire, InfoWars, I don't think these guys got the money for Tucker. And these guys got some big budgets. But I don't think they got Elon's pockets. And I think Elon, I think it's a potential that, he reached out to Tucker and they came to an agreement. Now let's go to Alex, because Alex calls this independent. And in a way it is, because I guess Tucker's doing his own production, right? This isn't like he's using Daily Wire studios. As you can see, his pockets are good, so he can put together a decent production team fairly quickly and easily. So it's independent from the production level, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a deal on the back end that we're not privy to between X Corporation, aka Twitter, and Tucker. Let's see what Alex Jones has to say.
3, 2.
Tucker Carlson's move today to Twitter with Elon Musk is way bigger than Tucker Carlson. It's about the death of cable media. It's about the death of the establishment. It's about the death of the intelligence agencies and the censorship and the surveillance. Tucker has 25, 30 million views on the videos he now puts out on Twitter. 5, 6 times what he had on Fox News. The dinosaurs that fired him miscalculated. And I told you 2 weeks ago, he's not going with some new big outlet. He's going to be independent. I had that obviously directly from Tucker Carlson's camp. And now we're here. So their attempts to silence me and to silence you have now backfired. And Tucker Carlson, as the archetypal populist promoting liberty and freedom and peace and prosperity, has been targeted by the system, and their attempts to silence him have failed. And that just illustrates there's not just evil in the universe, there's good as well. And so I am so excited about what Tucker's doing. He can now broadcast from his house in Maine. He can broadcast from his house in Florida. He can now directly reach out to people and cover things that Fox was suppressing. Sure, his contract said he had total freedom. He took a pay cut of 2/3 to tell the truth, but they still try to control him. Tucker knew he was going to be fired. I predicted it back in March, and now it's here. He didn't sell out. I didn't sell out. You didn't sell out. We're not selling out. Our freedoms, our liberty, our ideas of what we stand for are not for sale. And that's why what Tucker Carlson's done is so beautiful. That's why what you've done is so beautiful. People want freedom. That's why InfoWars is still on the air, in many ways stronger than ever, only because of your support and your word of mouth. Tucker's stronger than ever because of you. We're going to win this, folks. Listen, Tucker's just the tip of the iceberg. Elon Musk has gotten on board with liberty because he knows which way the wind is blowing. The globalists are not invincible. In fact, they're very easy to beat if we simply wake up and support freedom and stand up for basic human liberties and the basic concepts that have made society so successful. I love America, and I love you. We're going to win. America's not tyranny. America's the example of liberty, and we will win together. God bless Tucker Carlson, and God bless you all.
Watching this video made me have a flashback. Last year, I was invited down to the InfoWars station, and I did a show with Alex Jones. And I got to say, really genuine guy. Really, he's just real. We were in the studio, and there wasn't much small talk. We didn't do any small talk. He was straight to business. He said, everything good? Yeah. All right, come in the studio and, sit down and, what do you want to talk about? Hotep Jesus, what do you want to talk about? You can talk about anything. This entire segment is for you. It's like, okay, dope. So me and him, we did a whole entire segment in studio. And then afterwards, he invited me out to dinner. And I'm not a groupie hoe, okay? Pause no homo if I need that, but I'm not no groupie hoe. So I'm not about to hit up Alex and be like, yo, Alex, did you still want to do that dinner? I just was like, if he hits me up, I'll go, but I really don't want to be up somebody's ass. And sure enough, 7 p.m. rolled around. He texted me, said, Hotep Jesus, we're going to be here at 8 p.m. I'll see you there. And he sent me the address. And I'm not going to tell you who was in that room for privacy purposes, because we were in a private room when we had dinner. Very, very nice steakhouse and very nice, expensive luxury steakhouse in Austin, Texas. And we had a really good time. It was probably 8 of us in that room. And he didn't have to invite me. He just invited me. He said, yo, come to the dinner. He didn't have to do that. So, the internet can say what they want about Alex Jones. But, for me, from what I saw, my personal experience, he's one of my favorite people, man. Really, he was really good to me. I got to be honest with you. He was really, really good to me. Now, you can make your speculations on why that was, because I know how y'all get sometimes. But I didn't get any wind of anything nefarious that he wanted to do again. He just was a genuine nice guy. Like, yo, Hotep Jesus in town. I should invite him to dinner. Something that a real good person would do. Exactly what he did, because he didn't have to do that. And I really enjoyed that time. That was a lot of fun. Let's go to NBC. NBC reacts to Tucker's announcement. Let's see what they got to say.
Okay, well, listen, Twitter was already under fire for misinformation, disinformation, all-out lies, anti-Semitism, racism, before Elon Musk took over, and now it's gotten kind of crazy.
I thought Jack Dorsey was Jewish. How can Twitter before Elon be anti-Semitic? I mean, it's just a platform that hosts things. Anyway.
Right? Seemingly unmoored, if you will. Will anybody be able to police what Carlson says? Or is this the point? It's just a free-for-all.
I think this is the point. It is a free-for-all. It's what Elon Musk wants to provide. This move by Tucker may cement the idea of Twitter as a right-wing website.
What? Did you hear what he said, though? Listen, they tell on themselves.
Elon Musk wants to provide.
Listen to what he said.
If you will. Will anybody be able to police what Carlson says? Or is this the point? It's just a free-for-all.
I think this is.
Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just said? They tell on themselves. These people are modern-day Bolsheviks. I'm going to play it one more time to see if you catch what this host says before it goes to Brian Selton.
Anybody be able to police what Carlson says? Now it's gotten kind of crazy, right? Seemingly unmoored, if you will. Will anybody be able to police what Carlson says?
Will anybody be able to police what Carlson said? Yes, Natasha Kayleen, thought police. They want to control Tucker. They want to police Tucker. You heard what the man said. He said the media, doesn't exactly lie, and he broke it down, and they are scrambling. They're all scrambling, trying to reel this in, and they tell on themselves. Is anybody going to police Tucker Carlson? He said, if it's not, it's going to be a free-for-all. So what they're saying is, we have to police speech. We have to police your thoughts. You cannot have freedom.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
What? In less than 19 seconds, they go full 1984. Full 1984. So let you know what the motive is. The motive is, beyond Tucker, the motive is We have to police people's thoughts. People are doing too much thinking. There's too many ideas being shared. We have to reel this thing back in. We have to bridle the brain. We have to govern people's minds. NBC, right after the Tucker Carlson situation. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing that they would even just slip up like this. Or is it a slip up? Is it a slip up? Or are they just so willy-nilly that they're going to tell you exactly what their motives are? Bridle your brain. Is Tucker dangerous? To me, assuming I knew nothing and I just had to go off of these clips, Tucker seems to be a danger to the establishment. Tucker Carlson seems to be a danger to the establishment because he's just showing people how to be free. Now imagine if they were in charge of these outlets. What are they saying? That you're going to put limits on Tucker Carlson's speech? They're going to not give him an account? They'll ban his account? They'll throttle it via the algorithm? And then they say, well, we're going to have to call Twitter a right-wing platform now. A platform that is free for all. They want to label as right-wing. Why? Because they can't police your thoughts. So the next best thing, like I said before with my conversation with Shaka Akmos earlier, character assassination. And when Shaka said that, I was like mind blown. I'm like, yeah, you're right. This is all character assassination. That's all this is. Assassinating the character of the right-wing persona, of the conservative persona. They want to label things. Let's put a label on it. A label that says this is bad. So that your normie friends, your people in the middle, people don't know any better. Most importantly, the youth. Because the youth don't know any better. They just, just got over playing video games 24 hours a day or 18 hours a day, or whatever they're doing. They're becoming grown adults now. They're having to go to work and pay bills. So now they're starting to pay attention to things like our society and politics and culture and ideas. And these are college kids, right? So these college kids or college graduates, these are the opinions that they're trying to form. And these are the people that are dominating social media like TikTok, Instagram, Meta, and Twitter, particularly TikTok. And that's the mind that they're really after, is the mind that has not been touched yet, the untouched mind. And it's very important for us to, spread the message. Hit the share button, hit the like button, jig the algo, hit the like button. Let's get the likes up here on YouTube and Rumble. But we have to continue to spread the message because we have to get to those minds first. Whoever gets to the mind first usually wins. And again, I'm going to play it one more time so you can hear it for yourself. You can play it for your friends. You can play it for your parents, your family, whoever. But I want you to listen again.
Racism before Elon Musk took over, and now it's gotten kind of crazy, right? Seemingly unmoored, if you will. Will anybody be able to police what Carlson says?
Police what Carlson says. What has he said that has been so dangerous? All of his takes to me, for a Hotep, if your tinfoil is on tight, Tucker Carlson's on the mild end of things. If you're, from a scale of, I don't know, mainstream to Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson's somewhere in the middle. And if you want to go past Alex Jones, we can go all the way to, I don't know, David Icke or something. I don't know. But it can get really far out there. Tucker to me that's mild salsa. He's mild salsa. Not spicy at all. Tucker's takes are not spicy. Now, he might be spicy for a normie. He might be spicy for a normie. But for people who are really into this, really out here doing the homework and understand our society and understand the precedent set by our government and the people in government, Tucker's mild. He's mild. He's not spicy at all. So what exactly are you policing? See, you got to stop it. You got to stop it before it gets out of hand. Because if Tucker's mild, they don't even want you to get past mild and choose hot. They don't want you to have hot sauce. They want you to have, they don't even want you to have mild sauce. They want you to have some plain Jane sauce. No hot sauce for these folks. Now I'm black. I love hot sauce. Give me the hot sauce. And I like Tucker's takes. I like a little bit of mild sauce. But the fact that you're trying to police the mild sauce lets you know where their barrier is, where their bar is, where they're trying to stop things as far as a message getting out. If you have to police Tucker, oh my God. Free speech is hanging on by a thread. It's hanging on by a thread. And I'm not talking about free speech that you see in the Constitution. I'm talking about free speech sustained by us, by the people, by corporations. That's why I'm not too harsh when people say wild things on the internet. I'm like, well, you got free speech. You're able to, speak your mind. I don't go, oh, you're an idiot. And, no matter how stupid you sound on the internet, I'm not going to scold you. I'm not going to, say anything vindictive. You have your opinion. And I think that's important to give people room to be stupid.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Got to give people room to be stupid. And remember what I told you before about intelligence. Intelligence, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world, but you have to be smart enough. Who's going to finish my sentence? You have to be smart enough to know when to shut up. At the very least, you have to be smart enough to know when to shut up. That's the level of intelligence everyone, at a minimum, should aspire to. And that'll put you in the upper echelon of society, being smart enough to know when to shut up. Some people don't know that limit. They don't know their limits. Know your limits and shut up. Let's go back in the grift bag. Gavin Newsome don't want black folks to have reparations. We got to cover that. Let's go in the grift bag. Let's find this. Bing bong. Bing bong. Here we go. All right. So let's see what Gavin Newsome says. And you're gonna see, again, these people tell on themselves. If you're paying attention, you don't even have to pay attention that hard, but they tell themselves. Anyway, it says here in a statement to Fox News Digital, Gavin Newsome says the Reparations Task Force's independent findings and recommendations are a milestone in our bipartisan effort to advance justice and promote healing. Now, these words, justice and healing, these words are very fleeting. They don't mean much, right? Like justice. Like, what is justice? Who gets to decide what justice is? And healing, healing, it sounds like something a woman would say. Promote healing. It's something a woman would say. It's not something a man would say. Anyway, let's continue. So it lets you know that they're playing on the emotions of women. That's what this is doing here. So anyway, who happen to be the greatest foot soldiers for the Democratic Party, particularly black women. It says this has been, now you have to remember that there's a hierarchy in white liberalism, okay? And in liberalism, the hierarchy has white women at the top. When we talk about the organization, remember the other day we talked about how a protest comes to be. We had the Jordan Neely incident happen, and then they mobilized several protests in New York that weekend, and I showed you how they pressed a button. Go to my Jordan Neely episode on that. But basically, the white women are the ones that are running these organizations. And I showed this in the past, 2015, I want to say, when we looked at Colin Kaepernick's donations. He pledged $1 million in donations to various organizations. And I scrubbed them, all of them. And every last one of them, outside of a few, were run by white liberals, particularly white women. And then they pass the marching orders down to the black women, and then the black women become the field or the foot soldiers. They're in the real world, and they're the ones marching, yelling, screaming, corralling crowds, etc., etc. But the strings, the puppet strings, are held by the white liberal woman, and her puppet strings are held by the communist elite. Let's go back. So it says here, and I said that because, again, these words are targeting women. So it says, this has been an important process, and we should continue to work as a nation to reconcile our original sin of slavery, and understand how that history has shaped our country. Okay, so far so good. While the Democratic governor applauded the task, okay, let's go here. Advance systemic changes that ensure an inclusive and equitable future for Californians. So when they say systemic changes, this is an opportunity to take money.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
It's an opportunity to mismanage taxpayer dollars. Because what they'll do is they're going to create a committee. That committee is going to get a budget. They'll find a whole bunch of problems. They'll create a whole new bunch of bills. And then the system will shuffle around. Nothing really ever happens. In fact, I can't say nothing really ever happens because usually things get worse after the white liberal puts pen to paper. Let's continue. And so it says here, inclusive and equitable future. Now, this is the big thing with white liberalism, and has been for a really long time, more particularly when we talk about integration. When they ended segregation, they talked about forced integration. I usually don't refer to it as integration. I usually call it forced integration because that's what it was. It was forcing people to come together. So when they say inclusive, they're not talking about black people building for black people. What they're talking about is we want them to amalgamate with the cultural norms of the white liberal. And what that comes with is pronouns and all the other debauchery and lechery, that they want to proliferate in the minds of adults and children. This idea of sexual freedom, et cetera, et cetera. So when they say inclusive, they're saying we want to amalgamate you, or we want to swallow you. You will become one of us. You will not stand on your own. You will have one of us, which brings us to the next term, which is equity. Here they use the term equitable. So what they're saying is equity. Yeah, I'm going to share my pizza pie with yours because as long as you're eating from my table, you'll never build your own.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And that's what DEI is all about. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is about destroying black culture, destroying black systems, destroying black economics, because all groups have their own economics. We know Hispanic people come here and they have, Lil Havana or Lil Mexico. We know the Indians come here and they got Lil New Delhi. And Africans come here and they got their own little section of the hood or the city or whatever it is. All these people come here and they set up and they have their own economic base. What they don't want is for black Americans to have their own economic base. Why? I'm going to show you in the next sentence. Says here, dealing with that legacy is about much more than cash payments. Now, this is the part that everybody had a problem with, the cash payments, okay? He ain't giving out no cash. Why? You might do something constructive with it. You might invest that back into your community. But I don't want to spend time on that because that's just low-hanging fruit. Let's go to the real motive here. It says many of the recommendations put forward by the task force are critical action items we've been hard at work addressing. And what's the first thing he says here? Breaking down barriers to vote. What does Sonny Johnson say? She says the Democrats cannot be the party of the poor if there is no poor. So if these people got cash payments, they wouldn't be poor anymore, and the Democratic Party would lose their hold on them. And this is why I say conservatives should say, yo, pay the black folks, because it would destroy democratic politics, because we would no longer be looking to them. We'd be good. We'd be at a point where we can invest in ourselves. We can start our own businesses, but that's not what they want. They don't want black folks starting their business. They want black folks sitting at their table, working at their businesses. But what's the first thing he says when it comes to reparations? Okay, your ancestors were enslaved, particularly by the Democratic Party. We know this is the party of the KKK. We know this is the party of slavery, because the Whig Party, that which the Republican Party was born out of, their whole campaign was about abolition. The Republican Party was literally born out of the idea of abolition. The Whig Party, that was one of their major talking points, was abolition, the abolition of slavery. So when they talk about breaking down barriers to vote, it's letting you know their motive. We need your votes. We need to break down barriers to vote so I can get, me, Gavin Newsome, can get reelected. So Biden can get reelected. They're concerned with themselves.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
They don't give a damn about black folks. He says bolstering resources, and he almost had me right here, right? Bolstering resources for what? To address hate. Again, coming back to what? Emotions. Men don't give a damn about who hate them. That ain't, you hating me ain't none of my business. A woman or feminine, undivine feminine energy, because divine feminine energy transmutes hate into love. So a woman not in her divine feminine will be distracted by hate. And that's what they reduce women. They reduce women and they pull them away from their divine feminine into the shadow feminine. That is sexual liberation. OnlyFans. The story hour with the kids. Minor attracted people, I think they're calling them now. This is what they're talking about, right? This is the shadow side of feminism, where taking women's spaces via sports, right? This is the shadow side of working against women and using women to pull that off, right? We saw with Megan Rapinoe, she endorsed it. Who was the girl that got locked up? Brittany Griner. Got locked up in Russia. Brittany Griner. Shadow side. Women who are not attached to their divine feminine. And I'm not talking about the masculine traits, because there are masculine women, lesbian women who are attached to their divine feminine. I don't know if I want to use the word attached there. It doesn't matter. But when you're not in your divine feminine, that's when you get this sexual liberation, the debauchery and the lechery, the hoe shit, for excuse my German there. So again, voting and then emotions. Then he says here, enact sweeping law enforcement and justice reforms. Again, this is the attack. Now this, they make it seem like it's going to be, some reform with police, blah, blah, blah. But my tinfoil kufi take is they're going to remove police officers from the street and replace them with digidogs. And that's really what law enforcement and justice reforms looks like in the next few years. They're going to take the AI, they're going to put it in the Digibot, they're going to put it in R2-D2, and R2-D2 and Digibot are going to be the new law enforcement. So you got to be careful when they start using words like technology. And we saw that in New York where they released Spot the Digidog and Mayor Eric Adams and all of that. So, again, things that black folks aren't asking for. We're not asking for law enforcement and justice. We're looking for free trade. That's really what black men and divine black women are looking for. Then he says, strengthening economic mobility, right? But it's a hyphen here. There's a hyphen here, and it says, all while investing buildings to root out disparities and improve equity. There's that word again, in housing, education, healthcare, and well beyond. This is basically communism light or socialism, right? So equity, putting you in, some of these communities that they'll build for you. Education's a big one for them because they want to indoctrinate your children. They really, really care about education, and they'll weigh down on education. And when you listen to them without your third eye, you might get fooled. You might think they actually care about educating your children, but really what they're saying is they want to indoctrinate your children. And that's why they want people in their public schools and in their systems. Rockefeller funded education. Jonah Ryan's going to tell you all about that. But that's a big one for them, education. And then healthcare. They don't really care about your health. If they cared about your health, high fructose corn syrup products wouldn't be on the shelf.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I mean, many people have done studies on this. Many people have shown the evidence. The food that we have here is not available in foreign countries. There's a different formula for Coke. There's a different formula for McDonald's. In other countries, you actually have to use a certain grade beef. But here in America, corporations are allowed to sell you shit. Now, I'm no statist. But if you're going to say that you care about healthcare and you're going to put out regulations, what are you really regulating? So it's not healthcare, it's health scare. It's health scare. Or I should say health scarce. Because, as we know, one of the number one killers of the black community, it ain't police. It ain't gang members. It's high blood pressure, hypertension, heart disease, the cardiovascular system. They want to mandate jabs. So when they say healthcare, these are the things. So it's not Ayurvedic. It's not preventative medicine. It is, we want you to make all the bad choices so that we can take care of you. AKA, I'll say it, eliminate you. Because when you go into these things, they get you hooked on all these drugs. And if you're coming to Hotep Con, I'm going to have Project Rook talk about this. Specifically, we're going to talk about the healthcare system and what happens when people start getting on medication. And what that does to their body and how one piece of medication destroys another part of your body. So you went in for one medication, 5 years later, you got 20 pills you got to take because this pill has to counteract that pill, 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 and ad infinitum until you're dead, right? So the healthcare is basically scaring you. Like I said, health scare, it's scaring you into asking Big Pharma to take care of you instead of you taking care of yourself. So all these things are about to happen. They're telling you they want you to have health care, so you'll be scared because they'll say Republicans don't want you to have health care, so they scare you into health care, which isn't health care, it's health scarce. You see what I did right there?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
They want you dependent, and this is all reparations. They want you dependent upon them. That's the nature of socialism. That's the nature of socialism. So while people got caught up on this cash payment stuff, I'm like, wait, if he doesn't want cash payments, what does he want? And that's what I just broke down here. This is what he wants. He wants slaves.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Diane Rivero in the chat says, as a nurse, I can say you are 100% correct. Thank you. A pyramid scheme of symptoms, says YV. Constable says assisted suicide. That's definitely a hot topic. I know, especially in Canada, they got something like that. Jimmy Doss, I see your super chat over there on Rumble. I appreciate you. Shout out to my people tuning in on Rumble. We got 90 watching on Rumble. Hit the likes over on Rumble. We're only at 15 likes on Rumble. If you hit the like button, it jigs the algo. Hit the like button over here on Twitter, on YouTube as well. Let's expose the Biden crime family. Hold on, let's pull this up. Did we cover everything? Yeah, we covered everything with Gavin. Let's go to the Biden crime family. Here we go. Now this is on now I'm sure they'll say, "Oh, this is not a reputable website," like their outlets are. Zero Hedge, it says Biden family tried to hide over 10 million in foreign payments, says House GOP. So it says here, House Republicans laid out evidence of a vast network of Biden family dealings which reek of corruption, including, it says here, the Biden family received and tried to hide over 10 million in payments from foreign nationals. Now, before I finish reading this list, what did we tell you about all these events that are happening? The attacks on Tim Pool, the attacks on Trump. You know, we just had the verdict drop yesterday. The attacks on Tucker Carlson. What and then these incidents, Jordan Neely, that they blew out of proportion, et cetera, et cetera. The Texas incident. What is all that for? It's the smoke screen because you don't see the investigation going on right now with the Biden crime family. Says here, a previously undisclosed 1 million in Romanian-linked payments, ties to Romanian influence peddling, a web of 20 LLCs created while Joe Biden was vice president with a complicated corporate structure. It sounds straight out of, what's that show on Netflix, man, where they be money laundering? Ozark. The Ozark. At least 15 of the LLCs were formed after Biden became VP in 2009, several of which were owned or co-owned by Hunter. These LLCs accepted payments ranging from $5,000 to $3 million. The committee wants to know what legitimate business the Biden family was in. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but they have this wonderful diagram here. It says 4-step plan to hide China-sourced payments. And you can see step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm not going to go all into that. Mostly because I can't read it. Okay, that's better. Let me see. Can you guys see that? All right, you guys can see that. Okay, so it looks like you're creating the infrastructure. Maybe that's the formation of the LLC, corporation, et cetera, et cetera. Then it looks like step 2 looks like the negotiation with the individual in a foreign country. And then it looks like the transfer of money. And then step 4 looks like, cashing out with the piggy bank there. Let's go back. So they did a really good job here. And then they have this wonderful chart here, which illustrates the payment network, China payments to the Bidens. You guys can go check all this out. This is I'll pop the link in the chat right now so you guys have this. Hold on a second. And let me drop it in my Rumble chat so you guys got it on the Rumble. Also for the replay as well, right? That's important. Let's go back. But it is my summation or my theory that all these events that we're seeing is to hide and cover this. We even saw today, hold on. Let me show you here, trending, George Santos. So now there's some George Santos right here. They arrested George Santos today, so the corporate media could lead with that. Says Liberty lockdown Clint Russell. They will then completely bury the story where the GOP delivered mountains of evidence this morning proving that the Biden family is as corrupt as any American, is as corrupt as any in American history. You know it, and I know it. And that's my theory. It's funny that he said that because you get all these arrests because all this information is coming down about the Biden family and their investigation and the GOP evidence. But what's trending right now? We're not talking about the Biden and their investigation. No, we got to talk about George Santos, Trump, Tucker. Why is Jamel Monet trending? Oh, she's She's dropping thirst traps on the timeline. Okay. Janelle Monáe's an attractive woman. She actually broke my heart. She actually broke my heart because she was like became like mad anti-Hotep. And I'm just like, why? Like, did the establishment get you? Because when I saw your debut, you were very Hotep. And in fact, what we're seeing now is, remember when Janelle Monáe first came out? You know, this goes back to how the liberals co-opt black culture. Because when Janelle Monáe came out, she was all about not showing skin. She just very masculine. I'll show you. Let's go Janelle Monáe. And I'll show you the Janelle Monáe in the original. All right. So here, put this on your screen. This is right here. You see her in this suit? This is how she was dressing originally. Now she getting naked. What happened? They got to her. Now it's like sexual liberation is the wave. This is really the way. Originally, she was Hotep. But now it's all about showing skin. And she compromised because I believe, my theory is that they basically said to her, you know, saying that you can't show your body is some Hotepish way to control women. And she looks absolutely phenomenal in this video. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm a man. I love women. And she looks really irresistible here. I'm not even gonna sit up here and hold you. My God. Wow. I just lost my train of thought. But her shirt says pleasure, and her boobs are popping through this white shirt here. You know, wet t-shirt contest style with these booty shorts on coming out of the water. And it's just like, damn, they got to her too. Yeah, she's in Hollywood. She's heavy in Hollywood right now. We're going to open up phone lines. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Go ahead and call in. I know I'm going to get the usual callers, and I appreciate y'all. I love my usual callers. You guys are usually on fire. They always get naked. They get them every single time. 202-596-5631. Did she get a BBL? I hope not. Matt Earth says she's mine. Retro Neon said, what are your thoughts on RFK Jr.? Outside looking in, milquetoast. You know, I'm not seeing anything impressive. You know, he's mild sauce. I would call him mild sauce. I'm not hearing anything groundbreaking. You know, I'm 10 for a Kuvi tight. So you got to, you know, if you're not Alex Jones or better, I'm not really going to be impressed. But that's not to say I don't like what he's doing. I like the truth that he's saying. I don't think he has a chance in winning anything. You know, I think it's going to be great for his grift. I think it makes him a strong grifter. His grift is definitely over 9,000 running for office. But, you know, I'm not really, and I think he did a great job on the whole Fauci situation. You know, I don't want to discredit his work on that. I think did a phenomenal job on that because many people weren't aware of these dangers until he released his documentation on Fauci, et cetera, et cetera.
From Rudy the Vet.
Rudy the Vet Russo on the line, y'all. Rudy, what's up, man? Talk to me, bro.
What up, Hotep Jesus? What's up, brother? Hey, I'm wondering if, you know, being as I'm American of Italian descent,
yeah,
I wonder if they can use that RICO Act that they used to bring down all my people, man. I wonder if they could use that on the old Biden family. What do you think?
I think they could. There's definitely something plausible there. I like the way you're thinking.
You know, it's funny because we were talking about SBV yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And
SBF?
You know, they always say, SBF. Yeah, SBF. They're always talking about, this is the worst thing since Madoff. You know why they burned Madoff? Because Madoff ripped them off. You know why they're not going to burn SBV or SBF or whatever his name is? Because he ripped us off. Madoff ripped them off.
Damn.
SBF ripped everybody else off.
Fire.
He didn't rip them off.
Fire.
So that's all I got for you today, man. I'm out here in the lawn, man, loving life, man, taking in the North Carolina sun. Listening, I just want to call in, man, because, you know, it's
you the man.
Tim Pool, you know, I was watching him earlier. He broke that. They got into George Santos on like a $500 payment. He got like $500 in misappropriated funds. And he's front page news. Like, if you dig in deep, Tim Pool, like, really got a good breakdown on it today instead of just running his mouth. He actually was breaking down the facts of it. And, like, the Biden's got millions and millions and millions from all over the world. Santos got like a $500 illegal payment, and he's on the front page. And he was actually on the websites of the left-wing media, and you had to go like 4 or 5 clicks, 4 or 5 pages deep just to find anything about what happened today. And it's all allegedly, but yet they were up there throwing out all the banking records, all the numbers, because men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
You
numbers
said
don't.
$500?
Yeah, like it comes out to like a $500 unemployment paycheck or something like that. Some wise just pennies on the dollar, man. Pennies on the dollar. But, you know, they were holding that in the clip, man. They were holding that in the clip.
Well,
because, you know, they've been,
it looks like
you
25,000.
know how people, when he first,
It looks like 25,000 in campaign donors.
Right.
Hold on, let me put this on the screen. Whoops, I'm still on Monet's boobs. Lord have mercy. Somebody got to save me, man. You see how the devil work?
Yeah. He's everywhere, man.
So it's a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Long Island a liar. George Santos says he won't resign and will run for re-election after pleading not guilty to 13 federal charges, including money laundering and fraud, released on $500K bond. Indictment says he took $24,000 in unemployment benefits.
24,000. Okay,
24,000, and allegedly took 25,000 from campaign donors. But that pales in comparison to the amount of money we're talking about with the Biden crime family. We're talking about a total of about $50,000 here. Meanwhile, the Biden crime families, we dealing with millions and foreign money too,
and millions of foreign dollars, dude, for pure influence peddling, man.
Yeah,
Uniparty is strong, dude.
Uniparty strong.
You know how when he first got elected, everyone was like, I can't believe no one ran no Oppo research on George Santos. They had the Oppo research on George Santos.
Yeah.
They were like, let this guy through, man. We can use him as fodder whenever anyone on our side does anything wrong. We can use this guy as fodder. He's cannon fodder, man.
Right.
He's cannon fodder. The Uniparty is strong in this country, man. Uniparty is strong.
So damn strong.
He can't. They can't pull it past the eyes of a Hotep, though. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Talk to him, Rue. Facts.
They can't get it past the eyes of a Hotep, man.
No, they can't.
You know what I'm saying? I'm loyal to the foil. Like I'm saying, man, loyal to the foil.
Loyal to the foil, you know it.
Keep up the good work. Appreciate you. Respect all the Hotep Nation. Jonah Ryan, if you can hear me, lead a revolution in Canada, man. I'm out, man. I love y'all.
All right, Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill.
Wow. Yo. Oh, wait.
Call from Patriot Verity.
Patriot, you want to line with Hotep Jesus? What's up, love?
Hey, I'm having a very bad connection all the time, but how you been? I think we talked about a month ago. I've only called in once before this.
Yeah.
But I saw the topics today, and I got really interested, so I've been watching for a bit.
Can you switch phones?
I can switch rooms. That might work.
Yeah. Call me back. Switch rooms and call me back.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that'll help any, but I can try that. Okay. All right, no problem. Is this any better just for reference?
This is not better. Keep talking. Let me see.
Okay, I will call back. I called like 3 times. It's hard to get through, man. You got some people waiting on you, so I'm going to hang up and I'll call back.
Yeah, call back. I can't listen to that. It'll just distract me. I won't be able to listen to her. And I really, I try my best to give people my fully undivided attention as I'm doing 20 things at the same time. Jimmy Das. If people were given wealth, money, land, tax breaks, etc., a new wealth would flourish in spite of government, and that would destroy both parties. Real conservatism would flourish. Government can't compete. It steals. Jimmy Das with the fire. Oh, my God. That's a fire take right there. Fire take right there. All right, let's see if she got a better connection.
Call from.
You on the line? Can I hear you?
I don't know. Can you hear me now? Is
There
this
we
any
go.
better?
There we go.
All right. So, so I just called today. I had a couple things to touch on real quick, if it's cool. I was listening to you discussing the whole Newsome incident, which, I thought that was pretty hilarious. I don't know if he's going to be nominated for a grifting or not, but it's pretty messed up. He's back and forth. I don't know what that man wants. I look at him and he just looks really sleazy to me. But
I agree.
So with the last thing you were talking about, socialism, and I don't know if you've seen it or I don't know your thoughts on like Larry Elder, but when my politics started to shift, like back in 2020, I had watched his documentary Uncle Tom, and it kind of reminded me of some comments that I had read and some that I had heard like echoed on in his documentary, where he was talking about how back in the 60s, there was a higher percentage of two-parent households in the Black community in America. And then they put out all these socialist programs that women could not qualify for unless they were single.
Yes.
And that like shortly after that, the next few decades, it had dropped, by like 12% at first and then continued to drop as the years went on.
Yeah.
Because right. And I think it's kind of, they play on human nature too. Like you were talking about how they target women, and whether we like it or not, humans are kind of lazy by nature. Like, I mean, if we can get it easier, a lot of people will. So when women are there with children and they know that if I don't get married, it's going to be easier for me to get these benefits and these programs, I believe that, it's kind of a natural thing that a lot of them want to do it because they don't understand the benefit of being self-sufficient, self-reliant.
Yeah.
And I think it's sad, but it's true. So,
let's
I've also
unpack
noticed
that.
A lot of.
Hold that though. Let's unpack what you just said, right? Because I think it's short-term thinking on the woman's part in that situation, because she's looking at the immediate paycheck, which is absolute noodles, as opposed to playing the long game and saying, hey, look, I'm gonna stick it out with this man. Work with him, keep him motivated, be his confidence, be in his corner, and investing into him, time, love, etc. And then one day he'll be able to take care of you, and those payments that you'll get from your husband, the subsidization of your household through his hard work and sweat, is going to far outweigh the benefits of the check. But I think what it is the check is right now, and it don't take no work. Relationships take work, and like you said, people are lazy, and that's a huge problem. But go to your next point.
No, that's true. And I think like if you look at like a power couple, for example, they're like unstoppable in comparison to just one individual, because if that individual falters, there's no one for them to fall back on. Whereas if you have somebody there with you in the household, everyone has their temporary setbacks. And in this case, you have somebody to fall back on, somebody there to lift you up when you're having those moments. And people don't think about that in the long term.
Correct.
So I think it's really sad. But you were talking about that, and I think it also extends into most of the leftist ideology. I just wanted to comment real quick. I feel like they're like very kind of like discreet in what they actually want and believe. I feel is almost the opposite of the things that they put out there into the world. Like they talk about feminism, but yet, they're trying to basically erase women in the realm of sports. They tell biological women like to be quiet, sit down, like they have no right to speak up and say anything at all. And they don't listen to our perspective on, what is it like to be a woman, things like that. And it's the same thing with the gay community, where I saw, there was a lecture targeting homosexual males, where they were basically saying, if you're not willing to have a romantic relationship with a trans man, then you're a bigot. And so these are homosexual men.
Yes.
So I'm kind of like, aren't we taking multiple steps backward? And you're talking about being liberal, you're talking about wanting tolerance, but truly you're doing the opposite in every realm. And at the same time with minority groups, I used to be a leftist, and I, made a lot of mistakes, I'll say, with my votes, where I'm not glad that I voted for certain people. Like I voted for Hillary in 2016.
No, you
Lord forgive me,
didn't.
but
Did you? No, you got to
I
stop
did.
right there. What happened?
I did, sir. No, I did, and I did not turn to being like a populist conservative. I would say I'm a populist more than anything. I'm kind of moderate almost.
Wait.
I voted for Trump in 2020.
Wait. Let's back it up, right?
Yeah.
And this is not, and I'm not
Yeah.
here to judge you. I just want to understand the journey,
No.
right? I want to understand the journey. So
Yeah,
why
No.
Hillary then?
And I'm going to be frank with you because I was completely brainwashed by headlines, and I had kids. I had 2 kids at the time. I was young, and basically,
So was it an
is
anti-Trump
I
vote?
didn't look. No, it wasn't. It was like I didn't look past headlines vote. Like I didn't do my own research. I didn't look into things. You know, it was a little bit like I didn't like Trump. But even back then, I didn't understand certain aspects of all the hatred. Like I didn't like him very much because the Democrats, they got me. They did get me with all of the, you know, everyone hates women.
Yeah.
Back then it was sexism instead of now it's like all about everyone's racist. Everybody hates minorities. Before it was like everybody hated women.
Yeah.
I believed it. You know, it got to the point where in 2020, when I started
stop
seeing
right
all
there.
the
Now stop.
violence.
Wait. Stop right there. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
want to point out. I just want to point out something in that what you said was you were young, right? And that's what I was talking about earlier, where I said that's the mind that they target. They're looking for the young minds because those are the minds that haven't had, you know, any contact with the truth and reality yet, right? So, you know, I just wanted to point it out. So then now,
to say it.
Uh-huh.
Go on.
So
no,
now
I was going to say GOP hates me for it, but I tell them they have to do the same thing. And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not saying lie to the youth. We have to target the youth.
You got to.
And we have to win. There's no way we're going to be able to secure 2024 if we do not put messages out to youth.
Correct.
And conservatives don't like to hear it because I feel like those old school conservatives that still are Trump supporters, they don't value youth. And I'm not trying to be, you know, like mean to every conservative out there, say that they're all like ignorant like that. But I do believe that there are some older people that they just don't have that kind of innate respect to realize youth is our future. That is our future. They are important votes. Like we need to be able to give them a message that they can comprehend and see what are the benefits to me in the future. Because the fact is, and you and I both know that it is beneficial to them in the long term. Like you said, they're thinking immediate reward, not long term. And what I was just going to say is that the reason that I switched was it was like a mirror was put up to my face and I was disgusted with it. So I was seeing all these Democrats making excuses, you know, on television for like violence and other things that were getting super extreme. Not just, you know, I don't mind protests. I was all good for that. I was actually supportive of BLM and everything until it got violent. And then I saw these Democrats making excuses and I'm like, is this what I look like when I'm talking all the time thinking everything people say is sexist? Like, do I look like this?
Yeah.
Like everything, it's okay because I'm saying that I'm a woman and like, you know, and I'm like, oh man, I am really deep into this. Like something is wrong with me. And I began to realize when I started talking to more conservative voices that they were not hateful towards me. They were respectful towards me. And at the end of the day, because of all the messaging that I was given, it was me who didn't value women. It was me who didn't value myself. And that's because of the messages that were fed to me.
You just said something. You just said something prolific as well. Once you started talking to conservatives, you started to see the truth. And I've said this before. That's what their job is to do, is to stop the conversation. Don't talk to them. They're Nazis. They're white supremacists. They're sexist. They're racist. Don't talk to them because they know if you talk to a true conservative, you're going to find out, wait, these people actually make sense.
Yeah, you're right. And some of it now, though, it's so in your face. Like, I don't even understand. I actually had tried to post on your page and everybody else. I'm like, I want somebody who actually has a platform to notice. I don't know if you've seen it, but on the Occupy Democrats page, you had put in your headline here about the Trump, you know, being found liable for something recently. And the Occupy Democrat page posted, and this is a direct quote. They said, no evidence or proof. Like there was no evidence or proof. They admitted this, they acknowledged this, and they were celebrating him being found liable. And that was their exact words. And I'm like, how are people okay with this? That now males in America it's being celebrated if they're found liable for some kind of sexual assault or whatever, and then you're going to, at the exact same time, say that you believe there's no evidence and no proof.
I'm trying to find that on their page now. Wow, no evidence and no proof. They admitted that, huh?
Yeah, and I know I had commented on one of your posts because you said something like, I think you just like wrote a short question. I don't even remember what it was at this point. It was like before you went live, and I commented and I was like, "Did you see this?" Because I thought it was ridiculous. I've been like spamming everybody with it because I'm like, I want somebody to talk about this. How is this okay? Like, is everyone just ignoring that? They directly stated they felt there was no evidence, but they're okay with that. And they not only that. They said, we hope this encourages other women who have said Donald Trump assaulted them to come out, even if there's no evidence or proof. Like, are you serious? I felt like the audacity.
You tagged me in this story on Twitter? Oh, I see you. Free World, Patriot Verity.
Yeah, I did. So on Twitter, I think, let me see.
I see you.
Literally
I see you. You on the screen right now. You on the screen right now.
Yeah.
There it is. Occupy Democrats literally said they found Trump liable with no evidence or proof while celebrating it, which I found audacious. But I bet their followers won't care. And then it says here, Donald Trump found liable for the sexual assault of must pay. I hope 30 years ago, but have no evidence or proof. Now feel confident coming forward. RT, if you think this is great news, wow! And you said this should be satire, but it's disgusting, not satire. That you think it's a good thing to find men liable of things without proof. Dangerous precedent we're setting here.
Yeah, correct. And I feel like people celebrating it are not thinking about the fact that do you not have males in your life that like matter to you? Nowadays, men are just not valued in this society in my eyes anymore. I feel like it's become okay that because they've been so dominant over the years, that now we can just devalue men. And it's getting very dangerous, in my opinion.
Got it.
So I just wanted to point that out. I wanted someone to point that out.
Yeah. You got to remove the military class of the society, and that would be men. Men protect people. So if you don't have a military, or you don't have men, or you don't have protection, then that exposes women and children.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they want. Like, I mean, they make it seem like they're protectors, but what they really want is for you to be dependent on them. They don't want you to be able to walk away.
Correct.
Like we have that walk away movement. They don't want that to be an option.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, I appreciate your work.
And I appreciate you a lot letting me speak. And thank you also. I know you mentioned the Chicago mayor. That means a lot to me. We just moved out of Chicago about a month ago, but my family's there. So, the more you talk about that craziness too. Yeah, I appreciate all of that and all the messages you give out.
You coming to Hotep Con?
For letting me talk. I sure hope so. I'm definitely still trying to do that. So I'm like, I think so.
Coupon code Hotep Jesus. I'll see you there, love.
All right. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Hotep and Bill. Oh, man, wonderful calls today. Loving the calls today. Loving the voices. Loving the minds. One's in the chat if you come in a Hotep Con. 2 if you're not sure. One's in the chat if you come in a Hotep Con. August 17th to the 20th, Las Vegas, Nevada, Ahern Hotel. One's in the chat if you're coming. 2 if you're unsure. If you ain't coming, I don't want to see you. I don't want you to type anything in the chat if you ain't coming.
Call from.
Yo, you on the line with Hotep? What up? Hello? I don't know what happened there. I have a feeling that was Jonah, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's Jonah. Jonah, call back, man. You must have been in the middle of a cough or something. And Natasha Kayleen's using some emoji, but I can't read it on desktop. Maybe it's no update. I don't know.
Call from.
Jonah, you on the line? What up, bro?
Nada, I don't know. It's on my phone though.
Oh, okay. What happened, man? Talk to me. What's on your mind, bro? Keep it clean. Keep it clean, man. Keep it clean, man.
No. I missed most of the show, so I really have nothing to say. But other than that, no evidence, no proof that she was just talking about.
Yeah.
The case has nothing to do with the rape.
Okay.
The woman wrote the book, and then he said she was too ugly to even consider doing that too. So the libel was about him saying that she was too ugly to consider after the book was published.
That's what that
So
was.
that's all the case was about.
I thought it was about sexual misconduct.
No, the case was only about the comment that he made after the book was released.
Really? You can be charged with libel in the United States?
He basically said she was too ugly or something like that to even touch.
What?
And then if you actually look into the transcripts, the judge was going out of his way to make sure that there was a verdict in favor, because he would not allow them to even bring up the security measures at the store where he would have been, like Trump would have been assigned to himself and would have had a personal shopper.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so the case was only about his comment after the book was released. It had nothing to do about anything in the book.
Wow. Wow.
So everyone's lying about that case.
That's wild. That's wild. Thanks for that info, man. That's wild.
Yeah, people need to look at transcripts, because, the courts, especially the federal courts, they go out of their way to make sure no one's in there, so they don't see how dirty the federal courts are.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate that, man. Thanks.
Anyways,
for
like I
that
said, I didn't
correction.
watch the show, so don't comment on anything. Keep it doing work.
All right, man. Hotep and Bill, bro.
Hotep and Bill.
Jonah Ryan on the check-in. Is that true, y'all? Is that true what he said? So if you call a woman ugly, you can be held liable for that? I thought that was UK laws, man. I thought that was UK laws. I didn't know you could do that here. Damn. I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the power of your voice. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Jabari's got the Trump emoji moving. I see you. The official Trump emoji. If you're a member, you get access to our exclusive emoji on the chat. Picture suing a man because he said you're ugly. That's wild. Angelina says it depends on the judge. I'm learning. Jerry says she probably claimed that she lost book sales because of Trump's comment. Yeah. That's what I presumed. And I guess maybe there is some way to prove that. Maybe. Because what came to mind, I wasn't going to mention this, but since you said that, what came to mind was the Kim Klacik, Candace Owens case. And I believe Candace won that case. And I think she won that case because Kim couldn't prove that she was damaged financially in any way. But take that with a grain of salt because I didn't look at the case. I'm just making assumptions here. ODB said, to me, you're pretty anyway. Constable said they are certainly misreporting the type of case it is. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I hadn't gotten into the details. I see Eric Santos got the angry AOC, angry Biden, angry Uncle Hotep emoji in the chat. We also got the Candid Hotep emoji in the chat. Damn. Let me close the phone lines. This is the Griff Report. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Be back here tomorrow with another episode of the Griff Report. Something you want me to toss in the Griff bag, at me on Twitter, #GriffBag, so I can take a look at it and consider throwing it in the Griff bag, and it might make the show. So I appreciate everybody's participation in that, and I will see you tomorrow, 2 p.m., and tomorrow, 8 p.m. for Hotep's Been Told You at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for our premiere show on this channel, Uncle Hotep. I'm Hotep Jesus, and make sure you take your master focus. Get your mind right.
Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Tom, don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I said goes and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but open my eyes. You have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million bet.